Barack Obama made a pretty bold statement on a podcast recently saying aliens are real, but I haven't seen them. We'll delve more into that in a minute, but signs of extraterrestrial life really are becoming harder and harder to ignore, with pilots, military veterans, and civilians spotting unbelievable objects in the sky. But just the other day, Barack Obama showed up on the political podcast No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, and toward the end of the episode, Cohen moved into a quick Q&A and asked him, "Are aliens real?" Obama responded with, quote, "They're real, but I haven't seen them." That sentence is what set everything off. This is a former president, someone who had access to classified intelligence for 8 years, saying that aliens are real. And when asked what question he most wanted answered when he became president, he laughed and said, "Where are the aliens?" So, within hours, clips were everywhere. After the reaction online, Obama clarified what he meant though, saying that he was referring to the likelihood of life elsewhere in the universe because of how vast it is. He also made it clear he saw no evidence during his presidency that extraterrestrials had made contact with us, so he never actually claimed aliens have visited Earth, but it's still worth noting that a former president openly believes life beyond Earth is real, even if he meant it in a cosmic probability sense. I mean, that's not something presidents used to say out loud, and this is happening more and more now, for good reason. In 2025, reports of UFO sightings didn't just tick up, a little bit, they spiked. There were 2,174 sightings claimed in the first half of the year alone, way more than was logged during the same period in 2024. That number doesn't come from some conspiracy board, it's straight from the National UFO Reporting Center, a long-running civilian reporting database that's been collecting sightings for decades. People from all over sent in reports about all kinds of strange things in the sky, triangles, discs, orbs, cigar-shaped objects. It shows something about how people are reacting to what they're seeing in the sky right now. There's been more talk in the media about UAPs. The topic's become more mainstream now than ever before, and people are clearly more willing to speak up and submit what they saw. Before, a lot of these experiences might have stayed private or been dismissed as just, a weird light, but now people are seriously filing reports. Now, does this mean aliens are actually visiting Earth? Not necessarily, but it does mean something is catching people's attention, and enough of us are seeing things we can't easily identify.
Troy 2-1, go ahead.
It's not weird, but I just had stuff pass underneath my wing, maybe like a football-sized object right underneath our wing.
What you've just heard is some recently leaked audio from a US Air Force pilot. It goes on.
It's like a dark gray cylindrical object, and it was probably the size of a football, and it passed maybe 10 feet under our right wing.
That audio comes from an Air Force pilot who was flying over California on September 17th, 2024 at about 20,000 feet when something really weird happened. He suddenly radioed in saying something had passed underneath his wing. He told air traffic control his sensor operator was checking their cameras for it, trying to get eyes on the thing. And less than a minute later, the pilot says something appeared on his onboard radar about 60 miles away. If that's the same object, it would have had to cover that distance in under a minute, faster than most military jets. Air traffic control logged it and reported it to the National UFO Reporting Center afterward. As of now, still no explanation. In a recent video released during a House oversight hearing, a US Reaper drone captured something totally bewildering. Off the coast of Yemen on October 30th, 2024, the drone's footage shows a glowing orb in the sky. When a Hellfire Missile was fired at it, the missile hit the orb and then just bounced off. Former Pentagon intelligence officer Lou Elizondo, who spent years investigating unidentified aerial phenomena, pointed out how bizarre this really is. He said when a Hellfire hits a solid target, it usually just obliterates it. There's no, bounce. But in the video, you watch the missile just glance off the object as the unidentified orb keeps moving as if nothing affected it. At a recent congressional hearing, a couple of US military veterans stepped up and shared what they saw while they were on duty, and their experiences definitely don't sound like secret drone tests or misidentified weather balloons. The most vivid one came from Air Force veteran Dylan Borland. He says that back in 2012, while he was at Langley Air Force Base, he saw this massive triangular craft about 100 feet wide, just lift off into the sky. According to him, this thing didn't make a sound, even though it was huge. He noticed something odd about the way it looked, too. The surface didn't seem like rigid metal. It looked almost fluid, like it was shifting or alive in some way. And it was a dark metallic black color. Then around the top edge of the craft, he said there was this golden glow, described as plasma swirling around it. Borland also said the craft messed with his phone signal when he got too close to it. It's pretty crazy hearing him describe this encounter. The details are so specific. Back in November 2024, the Pentagon's UFO office, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or the AARO, released a huge report that basically lays out hundreds of UFO sightings the US government has been tracking. Between May 2023 and June 2024, they recorded 757 separate sightings. Most were in normal airspace, but 49 of them happened about 62 miles high. That's basically the edge of space, not where any normal aircraft should be. The report doesn't just chalk these up to mistakes. I mean, sure, they ruled out some things, flocks of birds, balloons, drones, and Starlink satellites, but there are still hundreds of cases that are unsolved. Some objects move in ways that no conventional aircraft could, or they suddenly appear and disappear. One official stated, quote, "I do not understand and I don't know anybody else who understands them." In late 2024, something odd started happening in the United States. Tons of people started reporting unidentified drones in the sky at night. It all started around mid-November in New Jersey, and then the reports didn't stop. Sightings showed up in New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Maryland, and other states across the Northeast, and the descriptions were all over social media and local news. Police were getting thousands of reports. The FBI, DHS, FAA, and DoD all looked into it and said they'd received more than 5,000 reported sightings. Witnesses described drones moving with impossible precision, stopping midair, changing direction instantly, or hovering quietly over backyards and highways. One person said they watched a, quote, triangle of 3 lights spin in perfect formation, then vanish like they dropped off the sky. On the night of April 4th, 2025, 2 witnesses in Porterville, California saw something that didn't look like any normal aircraft. Around 9 p.m. near Granite High School, they spotted this dark metallic octahedron, basically an 8-sided double pyramid, colliding silently in the sky. The object was about 600 to 800 feet away, roughly the size of a UPS truck, moving parallel to their car at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. The witnesses described the craft as completely silent with no lights, windows, or cockpit, yet it was moving with a precision that didn't make sense for, a typical drone or plane. One of the witnesses pointed it out, and suddenly the octahedron made a perfect 90-degree turn, then shot off toward the city, disappearing after 10 to 15 seconds. The witness also noticed there were markings on the surface of the thing, possibly like ancient hieroglyphics. The National UFO Reporting Center confirmed that the witnesses were sincere and classified the sighting as anomalous. Between January and June of 2025, people across New York State were reporting all sorts of strange things in the sky. The National UFO Reporting Center logged 66 separate sightings. People described everything from glowing orbs and silent triangles to fast-moving disks. One report came from March 25th, 2025. From someone walking their dog at night. They saw 2 extremely fast white orbs flying in close formation, then suddenly the lights switched to dark oval shapes and vanished in the blink of an eye. Another witness, a passenger on a commercial flight, reported a perfectly round, metallic-looking ball moving below the plane before disappearing into the clouds. In late September and October 2025, a couple in northern Michigan started noticing weird glowing balls hovering right outside their house. These weren't way up in the sky. They were at eye level, just floating in their yard. The objects were about the size of a basketball, sometimes glowing white, sometimes with hints of orange, but they were completely silent. Over several nights, the couple kept seeing them. One night, there were 3 glowing orbs moving together in a triangle, and then suddenly they shot straight up and vanished. Other times, they would drift slowly and hover for a while before disappearing. They kept track of the encounters and even got a few photos, which they also submitted to the National UFO Reporting Center. And that has been the video for today. I will catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next one.